Oh, all right. Here we go. Welcome to Crashing Game Night. My name is Matt Duro, your host. As always, I am joined by 2 weeks in a row with the Beanied one. So no more Wrestler of the Week.
Not yet,
Jobbing
brother.
for Marvel. Gerard Pereira.
Oh yeah, hey, how's it going, brother? No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm not wearing the headband. I'm back to the old beanie. So hey, how's it going, everybody? Thanks for watching. Thanks for joining. Thanks for listening. Hey, how's it going?
And taking the place of the adorable one is special guest, comic book artist, CGN fam, V Ken Marion.
Hey, what's up, homies? Thanks
What's
for having
up,
me back.
bud?
Yeah, welcome back, man. Welcome back.
No, it's so good to be back, guys. I'm glad they got the chance to come back, and thanks for having me on.
Of course. Anytime, baby.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, was our maitre d' of services, the man with the couch, the Lion's Mane, Jason Ballerio.
How's it going, guys? How's it going tonight, VK? Thank you so much again. I am ecstatic that you're on in so many ways. Yeah, we'll have that little.
Excited to nerd out with you guys. I'm psyched.
Oh, definitely, man. I mean, like, dude, what you showed us earlier, that is like, I kind of want to get one now too. Like, that is just so.
Oh yeah, it's insane.
For those listening, it's a Buster Sword, a one to one scale Buster Sword.
Yeah,
It's insane.
Yeah.
So does it have holes like so you can put like some materia slots in?
No, unfortunately, no.
Yeah,
that
But
would have been the sick. That would have been the.
It's made out of like foam though, so it's like light. Like you can like swing.
Oh, so it's like
wield
for
it.
cosplaying. Okay, that's
yeah,
cool.
yeah. But it's
Oh,
got like a
It's
metal.
actually wielable,
Yeah, there's like a metal rod through the middle of it though, so like holds the weight, so you can actually like swing it around and it won't like break or anything. It's pretty dope.
Nice.
Sweet, man.
Yep. So
Nice.
how's everyone doing? My day's crap.
Dude, I'm so sorry for your day, bro.
Tell, Matt. I mean, oh my God. Like,
Yeah,
already.
because like I have the great. I'm on cloud 9, so I'm great.
Well, because
But
you're going
you
to
go.
San Diego Comic-Con.
That's exactly.
So-
My vacation officially started
And
today, so
the
like
reason-
I'm
okay.
good.
The reason that Theo's not on is because he's at the airport. I'm assuming getting ready to take off actually
I
here
think you did probably
shortly.
No, he got
Yeah.
delayed a little bit, so he's he's.
Why
gonna
is
let
that?
me
Well,
know.
that's because we've got a really big thunderstorm that just roared up here in Colorado. So,
Oh no way.
but no, I'm still working.
Oh.
Yeah, technically. Yeah.
Not technically, like
You're still plugged in. You're still
Don't
plugged
tell
in.
nobody.
oh, nobody. No. So no, but literally, how's the weekend? Let's catch up. How have you
Yeah.
been?
Yeah, man.
Been good, man. Been good. Just working. I'm still in New York. Working on my comic books. Just
You
grinding
moved-
away. So
You
yeah.
moved on from DC to doing other things, right?
Well, so I mean, I'm freelance, so I'm still like
Okay.
working for like anyone
Mhm.
that like will
Money
I
talks.
mean, no. Well, no, it's no. I'm under contract, but I'm saying like I'm not the door's not closed with DC. Like I will always
Oh.
like do stuff with DC, like if they want like covers or whatever. But no, but
But
right now I'm
that
working,
commission is done.
yeah, but that current run that I was working on them with is done, and now I'm working
Okay.
with a new startup. It's based in Canada. It's created by a really cool guy named Chad Larson. He actually comes from video games, from the world of esports. So we're working on a new property called Death Shroud, and it's like I'm psyched about it. I've been working on it for the past year and a half or so, and we're getting like the whole thing, at least the first chunk of it, done before we're taking it out to sell. So there won't be any delays or anything like that when it goes to buy. So I can't talk too much about it because we don't
course.
have, we're not, at the point yet where we're talking publicly about the release of it and stuff. But I will
Any
say
chance
that-
of like a synopsis of like what the comic's about,
it's a guy,
or like what you would compare it to?
Yeah, no, it's an anti-hero book, so it's in the realm of Venom and Spawn, like in that type of realm. It's a Black Ops operative who gets killed, and when he gets killed, he finds out that he is the son of the Angel of Death, and then he's sort of reborn anew, and he gets kind of entoiled in this supernatural battle that's happening on Earth. And
Nice.
yeah, no, it's pretty
Sweet.
badass, man. It's like
Dude.
it's really cool. It's like 90s, but with modern like flair, and it's just everything you want in comics. You know, it's like tons of action every issue, like cool stuff happens every, like plot actually happens every issue, like lots of like great things about, like as a reader, it's like a lot of fun. So it's like really cool to work on something like this, and to be like one of the artistic voices like driving it. Like I'm putting as much like energy and action to as I possibly can. So I'm like so psyched about it, and I can't wait for people to read it, because I think it's
Colored me intrigued, dude. Like
Yeah.
as an avid like collector, or coming back as a collector. Oh, dude, I'm in.
Oh, thanks, man.
I like, yeah.
If-
Let me know,
Jerry, if you
whatever
don't
you
buy
can.
it, there's a problem. That means you don't support our family.
That's well. Either way, I'm down. I'm totally down.
Yeah,
But,
no,
that's me driving the bus.
So yeah, any info you can send me. Like, I'll sign up for any like newsletter and keep
cool,
up, dude.
cool. Yeah, no, I'll definitely let you know when we have more info to release. I mean, I'm on when I can, I share little snippets of pages I'm drawing on
dude,
Instagram and Twitter, so you can see
And
little
it's
like
gorgeous.
images.
It is
Sweet.
gorgeous.
Okay.
Oh, thanks, man. Thank you. It's like literally the most work I've ever put into a book. Like I'm super proud of it, and I cannot wait for people to see it. Like, I'm
And
super
dude,
psyched.
that's an interesting story. Like dude, I'm down. Yeah, that sounds good.
Thank you.
Yeah. So Jason, how's
Dude,
Costco life?
I can see
Well,
that as
you
a
know.
movie.
Costco life,
That's a good
Costco
story.
life, endless sea of people, but it's all good, man. It's all good.
Yeah.
Are you
Yeah.
guys running into?
Oh, I gotta ask. Hey, VK, did you remember to bring your swimmers with you tonight with all that rain that you guys just got hit with?
Oh damn, yeah, that's right.
Dude.
It's funny you say that. Like out my window, there's a highway right out my window, and it was underwater yesterday. So it was like,
Oh
just
my
cars
That's
and-
right.
Yeah.
I like the TikToks were hitting heavy with all of that footage, man. That was crazy.
Yeah, no, it was nuts. I'm not in the city itself anymore. I'm up in Westchester, but we still got hit pretty hard. But yeah, I saw the pictures too, like the subways and everything get torrential.
Oh wow.
Crazy.
Dude, because I follow Danny Pena, who's Gamertag Radio and has been on the podcast. Like he was showing just the waterfall
Oh,
in the subway,
man.
and I'm like, how can you live like this?
Yeah,
Crazy.
that's crazy. And Jason, it's not super crazy with like all the preppers and people aren't scared of like shortages out there right now.
I feel that it's just always that every day I work. Like,
Okay.
it's just
Oh,
a
that
regular.
sucks.
It's just a regular day.
Yeah.
No, nothing too crazy. We're in stock of everything. So
Oh, okay.
Nothing massively gone crazy. All of our gas lines went down. After that whole shindig, like a couple months ago. Yeah, it's all normal now. So
Sweet.
all
Okay.
good. Nothing too crazy. It's just another Costco day.
Another Costco day.
Yeah.
Well, I had family in town over the weekend.
Nice.
Jerry knows how family goes around
Yeah.
this.
So you didn't get any sleep.
Oh, I did.
Oh, you did. Oh, good. Just a little bit.
No, but it was the your godson's 5th birthday.
Yeah. God, he's growing. God, he's
Dude.
growing. He's getting big, man.
Right.
Any cool toys that you get for his birthday?
Honestly, bunch of Legos, like Duplo blocks and stuff like that. Him and his younger brother are all about the creating side, the building, and just
Sweet. That's good.
Nice.
so
Cool.
That's good. The creative.
they have a bunch of action figures, which Jerry's seen when I was still living down in Arizona. They don't get played with all that much. They get dumped out on the floor and then off to the Legos.
Okay, I made my mess.
Yeah, pretty much. And it's a pain to clean up. I'm about ready to purge. We're gonna have basically action figure purge, But no, it was all right this weekend. And then yesterday got the best news ever, which is what made today suck even more. My new car came in. So
Oh, nice. That's right. Yeah.
Trading
Yes,
Subi for
so
Subi.
the WRX is no more.
Yeah.
Thanks, gas prices. No, honestly, Jerry, you and I have talked about this. Driving a stick in rush hour traffic absolutely sucks.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
It does.
Wait, I'm confused. Did you want to get a new car, or did you not want to get a new car?
No, I did. No, so here's the thing is, I got a new car last year.
Mhm.
I got a 21 Subaru WRX. I almost got the same same car I'm driving now, but I was like, I'm in a position to get the car I've wanted for a very long time. So I said, screw it. I'm going to get the car I really have wanted for a very long time instead of think about practicality. And then fast forward to this year, gas prices going up to $6 a gallon here in Colorado for 91 octane, which I was required to have. And I wanted some more practicality as to be more around the house. So I basically traded in the WRX and went back to an Impreza. So I'm back in a hatchback now.
Okay, what out of curiosity, VK, what's the gas prices out in New York?
So we don't have a car. So I mean, it's, I'm trying to think, like regular gas is like around like 5 something. I want to say like in our area.
Yeah.
That's not bad. That's not
or
bad.
for like the high fives, like 580, 590.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Like it's insane. It's insane. Like
Yeah.
So
Good on you, man. Good on you.
Yeah.
oh no, we need to get one soon. We need to get one soon.
Well, pretty much like a lot of dealerships out there, a lot of them you have to order, or if they've got cars coming in, put down a deposit because new cars are selling super quick.
Which is weird, man.
Yeah.
Just people want to buy new cars.
Dude.
Just get more money. I
did a pre-order. I put money down on mine back in the middle of June. So 4 weeks
Yeah.
to get it in. So let's start this night off in V Ken's wheelhouse, and let's talk a little MCU.
God, here we
Sweet.
go.
Sweet,
So-
yo.
V Ken, have you actually finished Miss Marvel?
Okay, so this might be blasphemous, but I don't have Disney Plus, so I haven't seen any.
Well, okay, cool. You're not missing.
It's okay. You're not missing anything. You
Yeah.
don't need it. You just go to the movies.
So VK, obviously you're missing out. So you,
Not at all.
I will say, of all the ones that came out, I did really want to see Moon Knight because I think he's a really cool character that I liked when I was a kid.
so
that was one that I
Moon Knight
really
was
intrigued by.
Moon Knight was pretty good, but if anything, I would suggest, like, it's not even Marvel. I would suggest The Mandalorian. That was those first 2 seasons were probably some of the best 2 seasons I've seen
Yeah.
television
Yeah.
for a very long time.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
really was for me a space western where like they got it right. And
Yeah.
if that was anything to suggest, I would suggest those 2 seasons. It's awesome, dude.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard that from a lot of my buddies who are like really big Star Wars guys. So that's good to hear. from you
And
too,
if anything, Kenobi as a whole, like I would also suggest that too. Kenobi was just right. It was good.
Cool. Okay.
Now
Yeah,
Marvel had its problems, but big freaking whoop.
Oh my God.
I'll still watch them all.
So okay, yeah. So you guys, I've been listening to the podcast and how Jason. I agree with Jason that there's a lot. There's a lot. It's not just Marvel. It's like if I went back 20 years, right, to my teenage self and said, there's gonna be so much like superhero and fantasy and not fantasy, but like superhero and like sci-fi stuff. There's gonna be so much that you're gonna like not gonna be able to keep up. I'd be like, nah, it's never gonna happen. But like we're at this point, now where
right, and that's where my appreciation comes. Like, dude, I remember when we were praying when we got news of a comic book or video game adaptation movie was coming out. We were praying they did it justice, and even still, it was very hit and miss. And right now, they are backed by a company and a studio that want to get it right. So I am going to consume it all. I am fine with it. But I do agree with you. There's a lot coming out. The shows, all of it, I get it. But the thing is, we also have to think about this was their pivot and their answer for the pandemic was altered because a lot of those shows were supposed to end up being movies.
Yeah.
So though I saw a report though that said that this current phase, and it still has more to go.
Oh my God.
Has a longer runtime than the first 3 phases.
Yeah, they're taking their time with showing
They're not taking their
what
time.
direction.
They're just demolishing your time. Like in order for me to catch up, in order for me to catch up from Marvel, I feel like right now I started One Piece about a month ago. I feel like I can finish One Piece before I catch up with Marvel.
Yeah, shut up. That's like
Honestly?
over 1,000 episodes. That's ridiculous, dude.
Okay,
But
I'm
I mean,
back
like,
Jason up. I could finish Supernatural in that time.
like,
Oh,
let's be
shut
real.
up.
Let's be real,
That's
man.
so ridiculous.
What
I
I
drama
love
queen.
to add on to VK. Thanks for backing me up, my man.
Oh my god.
By the way,
Jesus.
back them up. Like, yeah, you look forward to the movies when the movies like led from one to the next, or you're like, oh man, like these are going to be the superheroes. Then you're just like, oh man, there's a new one coming out, and you're like so psyched out for it. Here, like next week, there's going to be a new Marvel something,
Yeah.
and then 2 months from now, we're going to have another new Marvel something, like nonstop.
I totally
Like,
understand.
either turn it into a soap opera and just be done with it, and like
I mean,
get all the love interest
every
Days
week.
of our Marvel lives.
I mean, it's
Every
kind of
week.
getting there.
Yeah.
or just
Well,
like
I mean,
stop it.
I miss. I'm not sure. Because I'm sure you guys remember, like when I was a kid, like I was a teenager when the first Spider-Man movie came out, and I was like a little kid when like Batman Forever and stuff were coming out, and I miss those, like those, for lack of a better word, those bloated studio movies that like had the top 10 radio hit. They had the McDonald's tie-ins. They had like it's like everywhere you went, you were like bombarded.
Dude,
with, like,
yeah.
those
like,
McDonald's
Batman,
little
you know?
glass mugs were like, those McDonald glass mugs were like
Yes.
I got
still have mine.
great tie-in stuff.
really,
you know?
dude.
Still have mine.
Dude, I had I think I had the Trinity. I think I had Penguin, Catwoman, and Batman. I think they got sold at a garage sale.
Oh man.
Yeah.
So
But like I miss that when it felt like this is an event, you know, this is like huge. This is like
Yeah.
this is everything.
Yeah.
And like now there's so not just the shows, but like the movies and not just Marvel. It's like it feels like the whole movie sort of system has become just like blockbusters, and like it, which is on one hand is cool because those are like my favorite kind of movies, but on the other hand, like it kind of takes away what's special about them too, you know?
Like,
Oh no, streaming and the film industry have been in a deep decline when it comes to taking chances. You know, you don't see those independent movies coming out in theaters anymore because there's you know, a safer option in streaming where you're gonna be guaranteed viewership. So like the theater industry itself is in decline, and yeah, you're right. It mostly whatever's out is mainly blockbusters.
Yeah.
Here's
Here's my problem right now with the MCU. Now, case in point, I have not seen Thor, so I'm going to preface that right now. I know, Jerry, you've seen Thor, but it doesn't seem like this phase is truly cohesive.
It's
And,
because
like,
they're telling different story, two
I
or
get that
three
they're
different
telling-
stories.
I get that they're telling different stories, but like I think the one thing with the MCU phases 1, 2, and 3, they were all coalescing towards Infinity
one
War.
thing,
and
but
even in phase 1, right, when we had Iron Man and Captain America, like they were still moving towards one direction, and I don't feel that all the directions right now are all in the same place
because they're going towards separate movies. They're setting up separate movies. One is going for the phase.
See how convoluted? See,
No,
this is why you
I
need to
understand.
stop.
I understand that, but that's exactly why it seems that way. Because if you're not like privy to like all of Marvel and read the comics, you don't see what they're setting up. Like they're setting up the timeline for their big bad. They're also setting up a timeline for the Midnight Suns, and then they're setting another timeline of phases for the new Avengers, all the young ones, Kate Bishop, Miss Marvel, and they need to stick to one timeline like they did for phase 1 through 4 or phase 1. Yeah. Like I get it. It like if you don't really know the lore of Marvel, yeah, it's gonna look convoluted and like, okay, yeah, they chose a random show to like decide to put out. Like, yeah, a lot of people aren't putting it together. So I totally understand, but like I'm excited. I enjoy it.
And
What did
you do?
What did you think of Miss Marvel? Because I heard that was really good.
So so I always like to go into the movies like how it's themed. So Moon Knight was themed more like Falcon and Winter Soldier, very like action, espionage, horror. With Miss Marvel, I got heavy Homecoming Spider-Man vibes. It's all about high school, it's the kids, and it's a bit lighthearted, but it has serious tones in the episodes. I enjoyed all of it. Like, they chose a great actress. She is definitely Kamala Khan. She's like very funny and like witty and a bit like a giant dork, and it's very enjoyable. Yeah,
Cool.
and you know, they did one of the biggest kind of announcements, like Easter egg announcements.
Yeah, I heard about
the
that.
show,
Yeah.
in the show, which is very exciting because
Yeah.
I mean, once again, to prove your point, another phase timeline, which is setting up for.
Can we talk about it? Can we talk about it, or there's a two?
Go ahead. I like.
Yeah,
I'm
we
fine.
can talk about
I'm
it.
not gonna watch it. I
Okay.
will guarantee
Well,
you, I'm not gonna watch this.
Okay,
'cause-
so spoilers for Miss Marvel, which
Yeah,
I've
but-
only heard. I haven't
But
seen.
I believe
so-
there's been enough time too.
Okay.
So
There's
Yeah.
been enough. Hey, guess
Yeah.
who's not working now?
oh sweet.
Nice.
Yeah.
My overnight
Nice.
crew is in, so I was like, here you go. Bye.
cool.
Bye, Felicia.
Yeah, go ahead
You know
and
what?
spoil
Here's the
away.
thing is, okay, so from a Miss Marvel perspective, I want to say I agree with Jerry, right? The actress they have for Kamala she's perfect. She is Miss Marvel. And I do want to say that having that show be as representative of the culture as they were was phenomenal. And I don't think that all the credit, like people that have been knocking the series, you know what, they're
Also
knocking it for
the way they
representation.
incorporated you know, some of their history and some of the like darker parts of their history. They incorporated it very well in the show to kind of not only kind of teach you what was going on, but it also moved the story along very well. Like that's what, yeah, like I agree. Like a lot of people really aren't giving it the chance that it should. It was a good show, at least Miss Marvel. But VK, what were you saying?
Well, no, I was gonna say about the X-Men reveal.
Yeah.
At the end, yeah. So like, I'm psyched, dude. Like, I want to see the Marvel's like this MCU version of the X-Men, because I think that's like the powerhouse kind of franchise that they need to kind of like anchor this next phase. Because I love
agree.
Shang-Chi. I love Shang-Chi. Like, of the ones they've done so far, Shang-Chi is my favorite. But I
he
feel
was
like
great.
X-Men's like such brand name recognition, you know, like I can't wait to see what they do with
But
them.
like, and I'm sure you, like I, have been waiting ever since like we knew they've been owned by Fox.
Oh, it's been like 5 years. Yeah.
Right. And
Yeah.
and like ever since they got acquired, like this is the culmination of all of us,
Yeah.
what we've been waiting for.
Yeah.
And and the thing is, isn't it's so great that they're hinting that they're bringing back our X-Men, the 90s X-Men. Because
Nice.
See, and I think
not only
that's a
in
lofty.
Madness, not only in Madness did they play that song, but in Miss Marvel, when they announced like it was a mutation, they played a little snippet of that song.
So what do you think? You think it's going to be like Cyclops, Wolverine, Storm, Gambit, Rogue?
I think
Jubilee,
they're not holding back. I think we're gonna get the classic team. I would say
Well,
like
what's the classic team though? Because
So,
like everyone has
I
a
would
different
say-
version of that.
I would go by the show and like the popularity, unfortunately. So that's mainly gold
Yeah.
team. So like Jean, Cyclops, Wolverine, Beast,
Rogue. Gambit.
maybe Gambit. Maybe
Dude, they need if you're doing that. Crew,
I
you need
agree,
Gambit.
but that's also a touchy subject because a lot of people have been anticipating it
if
ever
we
since
get-
the Tatum movie.
If we do get Gambit, then I
So-
think Magic Mike needs to be Gambit.
No,
that would be-
no.
That would be a big get.
No,
But for the
Um,
show, I don't think so. But
there's actually a fan made movie that's got a fantastic actor
and Storm,
that I think
and
would be
then
great,
that
but-
would be it. We wouldn't get a Colossus yet. I don't think we would get Nightcrawler. I think that would be the team they would show first.
Here's my thing though, is I think if you go purely on that route, like we saw Professor Xon is the chair that we all know and love from the 90s, but I think if you go that route, you are going to have some very lofty expectations that I don't think they're going to live up to.
Not at all.
Because I think that
because they have to modernize it. It's not going to be set in the 90s.
No.
Like,
that's
what it would be
so
so
but
great.
just the
caliber.
There was a
caliber.
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 They set the bar, right?
Yeah.
They set the bar for everything coming after it. And even I would say this, it even set the bar for, the Christopher Nolan Batman trilogy. I mean, it set the bar for how comic books should be represented. And I don't think in this current climate of Marvel where they're more going for quantity over quality. And when I say quality is because they're getting dragged for the poor CG work in a lot of their shows and their movies right now.
Yeah,
and I think they're trying to crank out too much stuff too quickly, and they're not paying attention to those details that made the phase 1, phase 2, even phase 3 really, really
Once
good.
again, you're comparing kind of apples to oranges, though.
And
you're comparing the guy and the crunch
what
time and all that to the casting and the care that they're going to put into the story and the production of the show.
But I mean, like, there are certain things.
It's going to be a movie. The X-Men's going to be a movie.
Yeah.
No, it's going to be a show.
Dude, X-Men's going to be a movie.
See,
I think they announced it's a show.
Dude, X-Men, they didn't announce it yet. There's been no announcements on X-Men. It's going to be a movie. There's no way they're not going to make that a movie.
Or were those like their? I remember it was a Disney experience deal where they were like, I think they said X-Men to be a show and then Fantastic Four.
They're bringing back. No, they're bringing back. They brought back the night show and they're going to be doing a cartoon.
Oh, that's right. It was the cartoon.
Yeah. It was a cartoon.
That's right. Doing a cartoon.
That's going to be
a movie.
Sequel. The cartoon is a sequel to the 90s.
That's right.
Cartoon.
That's right.
But I think honestly, though, I just there's just such lofty expectations. I think if you go and try and do a movie based on the 90s cartoon property,
it's not going to be based on the 90s.
But you know what I'm saying, though. But if you're kind of trying to build it around that type of the characterizations, you need to modernize it heavily.
They can do it.
Yeah, I just worry.
They just need to make them. If they just make them badass as hell and give them costumes that kind of look like the comic book costumes, I think people will be like so happy.
The other reason why I'm not afraid is because they're also following suit with Daredevil. Daredevil, like to me, on those in the Netflix shows, like
there's Jason.
So I'm just saying,
you go right ahead, bro.
Hey, I'm just saying. All of this is gonna come out in the next 5 days, so it's just all gonna be tossed on Disney Plus.
All right.
See, I don't think forget you.
But no, I'm just saying, like we're talking all this stuff that literally is gonna be in the next year, within the year.
Great,
and that's what every time I always say. I'm just like, I can't keep up. I'm tired. Like, it's just give me the big movies, give me the major plot points, because all these side things that I need to know now are becoming more of a chore where I don't feel like I'm enjoying it as much anymore, because you have to know Moon Knight, you have to know Miss Marvel, you have to know Loki season 2, you have to know Loki season 1.
Honestly,
you gotta watch that in order
Jason's
to get
point.
Thor, God of Love and Thunder,
kind of, dude.
And
because once again, it stems to different phase timelines.
Yeah, but you're getting
so
much that you need to know now. Or like things that happened in WandaVision are now coming up out of nowhere.
That's
and
true.
Just like, oh, you remember that?
And
no,
I think
because that happened a year ago, and that happened 17 shows ago. Like, what the hell?
I mean, Jason does have a point, though. It's like Multiverse of Madness, right? A lot of that tied into Wanda and WandaVision. And so if you didn't watch WandaVision at all, which I highly suggest, because it was a good, really, because it was all about her trying to be with her kids. And that's
not really.
When the whole
if you watch the movie alone, you get the idea.
Yeah, you get that's like, hold on. That's like watching.
That's different if you watch the show.
That's like going to Red Dead 2, just going straight as Arthur instead of jumping all the shit that you know about John.
Because you still can.
Done.
To be fair,
still can.
I will say, to be fair, as a kid, when I would read comics, I would buy random issues, and I would have no problem being caught up and just like be like, oh, so this is what's happening. Okay, I'm on board. So like, to a certain level with the movies, like I haven't seen a lot of the Marvel movies recently. Like I'm so behind on a lot of it, but I don't feel like scared about jumping into a new one.
I
Right,
honestly
because
think
technically you don't need to watch the shows to keep up with the movies.
some of it, yes, but I think with
In some degree, yes. But if you missed out on it, you can still enjoy the movies.
So that whole analogy though is like going to watch Maverick without watching Top Gun. Yes, you can get the understanding from Maverick, but you don't understand that emotional connection that was that story in Top Gun, just like you don't understand the story and the emotional connection that was in WandaVision.
You'll get the surface level action.
You'll get the surface
level,
but you won't be bought into the story as much if you hadn't watched the show.
That is exactly why they got new viewers and people to pay to go watch the movie. You have the Marvel fanatics, and then you have the curious people. How are you going to get the curious people butts and seats? That's how you do it. Unfortunately, that's the way it goes.
Yeah.
There's still openings in the movies that you can technically, okay, I get the gist. I totally agree. I feel you need to watch the show in order to get the full spectrum of the idea of the movie. But you don't have to. And if they're still open in the movies to kind of get the gist.
I think that's what's different now versus phase 1 through 3.
Also agree. I feel that
all the
lowers
movies,
the quality. I totally agree.
And all the movies in the original phases, you actually bought in, right? You were watching those movies, you were starting to invest in that emotional storyline.
Connected because you didn't have 3 different phase timelines going on.
Yeah.
I agree. I'm fine consuming it. I'm just fine consuming it. That's the thing. BK, you can even roll the tape and go see the back footage. I agree with you guys. I totally do.
Yeah.
I just have no remorse. I will consume it. I want to.
Okay, this is Jerry.
Here's the so happy, dude.
Here's the needle. So here's the needle. So Jerry's like,
exactly. Yeah, totally. Yeah, I'm ready for my fix. Ready.
I'm so
sorry.
Happy.
I'm sorry, guys. I get it.
But
I want it. I want it.
Wait, Jerry, do you like Batman?
I loved it.
Yeah, it was great.
Oh,
right?
I loved it,
yeah.
Dude. And you can also see ever since the announcement. I've been saying this ever since they announced it. I have no worry for Robert Pattinson as the Batman.
That movie was so great. I think it was my favorite Batman movie.
I didn't know about the movie, but I knew he would do something great with Batman. I was kind of worried about Bruce Wayne because I didn't know where he was going with it.
I liked it.
I kind of liked it too. He was the scarred, still younger.
It's still not my favorite, but it was so good. I think, honestly, me, it's still 89. That's still my favorite.
Oh,
Batman.
I mean, like
it's
for me, Batman's go generationally where it hits the heart. Keaton, Keaton, Bale, Pattinson.
Yeah, and I would do that order exactly. And for me, the second movie right behind it would be Dark Knight. Heath Ledger, may he rest in peace. And then for me, as much as Jerry knows, as much as I love the DC movie and stuff, I have to say it's the Batman is my third favorite. It is right there behind Dark Knight. It was fantastic.
So good.
Yeah.
You know, the runtime was a little bit where I had to.
Oh God, I loved it.
Breaking it up and doing it in 2 sessions.
I get that
perfectly.
It was a long
part 1 and part 2.
It was a long movie, but dude, I love the direction. Like those are my wheelhouse kind of movies. When it's a serial killer or like whodunit movie, I loved that was like the focus.
My one beef.
Batman was like investigating. It was awesome.
My only one beef with it was they merged Hush and Riddler into one character. That was just my only beef with it. You didn't have the Riddler Riddler really wasn't it's not in the universe though. Serial killer though.
But if you know the comics, Hush originally was the Riddler.
True.
Dun, dun,
he was
dun.
the original OG?
In the original
childhood best friend of the Doctor, right?
Okay. So in the original 12-issue run, it was retconned later. But in the original 12-issue run, the Riddler was the one pulling the strings behind the whole thing.
Yeah.
And then like later Yeah, like later on they retconned
Okay.
that the Tommy Elliott character was actually behind.
That's
I was
right.
Like, but
That
the
makes
original
more sense.
original run, it was the Riddler. So
Yeah, that's why they
Okay.
re-released it.
I bow down.
in the
I bowed
anime.
down before. I'm not worthy. No. So, but other than that, dude, the Batman was fantastic. So,
And-
I do want to talk about Jason's future employer as a janitorial services. You know, the running joke that we have.
I'll do it, man. I'll do it. If that's the foot in the door, I'll do it, man.
So it was announced this week that, or over last week and a half rather, that Forspoken has been delayed
Cool. Fine with that.
to January 24th. Now
Okay, cool.
a lot
That
of
gives me
people,
time.
So a lot of them they're saying it's to finally, to finish polishing on it, but I honestly think it's moving it out away from Pokemon and away from God of War, because originally it was supposed to be slated like that week before God of War.
Mm.
And I honestly think that
it would not
I
do
honestly
well.
think that's the whole reason they're moving it out is, yes, polish it a little bit more, but I think it was too close to God of War, and God of War would have just plummeted the sales.
Yeah,
that's gonna make records.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough. It's
already
also tough for
contributing.
Square just because like obviously we have the next remake in the horizon and 16 as well,
So
and so it's a little bit tough where it's like, where do you put this giant game that you're going to be,
And I think that's the other thing. You
putting
have
out.
FF16,
And that's also an exclusive too.
It is
exclusive.
It is a console exclusive. So let's talk about Final Fantasy while we're at it. So Kitase-san had an interview with Famitsu over in Game over in Japan. So he has come out and already said that the Dirge of Service is a sequel to the original FF7, so it is not in the remake project timeline. So we're not going to see a Dirge of Cerberus. They have no plans to redo the game, and there will be some changes with Crisis Core.
Yeah, I heard that too. Yeah,
especially with the remake, there's going to be
I was
there's
expecting
going to be
that
a
too.
lot of stuff that needs to just kind of be mildly retconned.
I heard that they weren't changing any of the story to Crisis Core.
I
haven't been that plugged in though either. So
no, he hasn't directly said flat out it's a 1-to-1 remake.
Well, yeah, I heard they're like putting the new voice actors in, and like they're re-upping the models. Like I know the Buster Sword is matching the.
But because it takes place within the FF7 remake project, he will not flat out say that they're not making changes. And I think honestly, here's what I get why they're doing it, because they want to bring in a new audience and go on their own path. But Crisis Core, to a lot of Final Fantasy VII fans, is just as beloved as FF7. And now you're honestly going to end up having to tweak the storyline to match what FF7 remake is.
Okay, let me jump in here really quick, because I was listening to you guys talking about this for.
I know this is why you want to. This is why you messaged me and said, "Hey, we need
two things. One,
we need to talk about the boy band road trip." Anyways,
okay, two things. One, I have never played the original Crisis Core, so I'm psyched because I didn't have a PSP. I did all the Wikipedia, when it came out, I read all the Wikipedia stuff and watched the cutscenes. But I'm psyched to actually play it, so I'm awesome. Can't wait for that.
Yep.
Okay, so big thing. Everyone seems to be scared and melting down about the future of Final Fantasy VII and not knowing where the story is going, right? But I think all those worries come from if you think about the remake, right? They're so careful with how they're doing it, and not a single part of that game was a letdown, right? And the part that is that has people. No, wait, let me finish. The part the part that has people worried, right, is the ending, right? But why that's worrisome is because you're assuming they're going to change something that you're not going to like. So until that actually happens, you should just, I feel like we should all just like take a breath and be like, listen, this is like clearly like they're trying to make something that is going to be fun for new people to bring them into the game and the story that we all grew up with, but also something for people like us who have played the original, that this is going to be something to keep you on your toes, right? But I don't think there's going to be massive changes. Like, I really don't. Like, I think there's going to be this added element of like the Zach timeline and how that is going to play out. But I really think that's put in there just to keep an element of uncertainty about what's going to happen. But I really do. I really think we've got nothing to worry about, man. Like, Final Fantasy VII is their holy grail. Like, Cloud is like the face of that entire company, right? He's like their Batman. Like, they're not going to destroy that franchise. You know what I mean? Like, they're just not. They're keeping that so protected that like, and the whole reason they're doing, like, I think everyone who's worried about it should just like, listen, we're recording this in 2022. The next chapter could come out and it could like totally blow all this up and be horrible and people could hate it. But until that happens, like, I think we should all just be like, yo, we're getting like really great Final Fantasy VII stuff, and like, let's just like go along for the ride.
Yeah, just wait until it comes out and play it.
Oh, I'll play it. Don't give me. I'm gonna play it.
I feel like, because like listening to your episodes, I feel like I gotta give you guys like hugs after it because you're like so worried.
Well,
about
we do.
I
mean, I think part of it is the fact is we know. I mean, anybody who's paid attention to FF7 and Advent Children and all of that, know we are in a new timeline.
Yeah, we are.
So Advent Children doesn't exist anymore. As far as the remake project goes, Advent Children and its storyline that came, those 2 years and everything, do not exist.
So I heard a theory that is, again, there's a theory, just theory, like that this is actually a sequel to Advent Children, because there's elements of like what Sephiroth is saying that's relating to like stuff he was saying in Advent Children. Like, again, I'm not so connected, like I haven't picked it apart that much that I personally like made all those connections, but I think it's an interesting theory.
Yeah.
At this point, they're going Zelda level with this, with Breath of the Wild, right? Where it's like,
I mean, it's not. I don't think it's Zelda level, but I think it's just like they are.
Jerry knows exactly what I'm talking about.
I'm totally down for Breath of the Wild, baby.
Breath of the Wild cannot make up its mind.
I freaking love that
timeline
game. That is true, though.
You know, it's like, well,
technically, it's 3 squeezed in timelines, right?
Well, they've flat out said this is a sequel
like
it's
in between like
it's a sequel to Ocarina. It's a sequel to Ocarina. They've already said that's the timeline this is taking in, that basically Link gets his ass kicked by Ganon. But the problem is that Wind Waker takes place in a completely different timeline, and everything on the map corresponds to Wind Waker.
Right.
So you can't have both. And I think that's
okay. See, that's why I think like it technically from what they announced, but it's really with all the aspects and the enemies that are technically not supposed to be there is from another timeline. So that's why I keep.
And rock salt, right? It is in places on the map where you should not find rock salt because there's no body of water. So, you know, where if it's in the Wind Waker and then the oceans drain out, which is what they kind of talk about, right? Then the rock salt's in exactly the places it should. Onset Island is in the game. It's in Breath of the Wild. So I think honestly, here's why I look at it with Final Fantasy, right? Is we know Advent Children, it's gone. We're on a completely different timeline. And I think what worries a lot of people is that one line in the trailer where Aerith is even questioning whether or not she's a double.
That's Tifa. That's not Aerith.
Was it? It sounded like it sounded like Aerith, but
okay. Well, I thought it was Tifa, but like I watched a couple videos.
You don't even know that, right?
Yeah. Well, no, but again, like that trailer, like again, it's.
But I also think that's exactly the effect that it's trying to be made.
It's a teaser trailer to make you question things. I can guarantee you that every line from that teaser trailer is not said in the exact like. I think they're from different scenes, from different parts.
Oh,
of
they're
the
definitely.
Dude, just like the Marvel trailers that come out, they use separate scenes in the trailers that aren't even in the movies.
Yeah.
Like,
maybe that's what they're doing. A misdirection.
Jason, you're more of a hardcore FF7 remake fan than the rest.
See, okay, so
you
like
actually platinum the game.
I try to platinum.
I'm still on my hard mode.
I seriously try to platinum every Final Fantasy game I get my hand on. But just saying, like all of us agree the ending that we did not want at the end of remake was the
I
one
liked
that,
it. I liked
mean,
it.
It was like
it does, like VK does
I
put
had
out
a
a good
small
point.
I had a small bit of disappointment, but I was like, okay, where are they going with this?
And I think this is where the truists, or like the OG players and the new school players, just like Marvel, they're going to have this like little disconnect, because the OG people are going to be like, yo, like, why are you fighting Sephiroth now? You know, what's up with all this crazy stuff that's happening in the last chapter?
Yeah.
Doesn't make sense.
It's Kingdom Hearts.
We're literally going into a Kingdom Heart direction, but we're literally doing something brand new that's going to happen. And they haven't even hit calm yet, where, you know, it's literally where they're going to pick up right when Remake 2 comes in, which, as a lot of people know, that's the end of the first disc. So we've already gone through the first disc. So we have a lot to cover in the second disc, because that's where the whole meat and potatoes are, pretty much.
Yeah.
And
it's so crazy that
it
that
literally
it's going 3.
It literally can go anywhere. And I think a lot of people are scared is because you have to build the rest of the team if they're going to have all of the rest of the team, because that's, are we going to keep the same 4? Are we going to have Red 13 be an NPC? Is he going to be playable? You know, we had him already.
Are we going to be able to go from 3 players to 4 player teams?
Are we
or we stuck with 3?
They're going to
that
stick
does
with
change
the 3. They're probably going to stick with the 3, but are they going to be interchangeable? Are they going to be like, you could have to lock in certain people at certain times? You know, like, you have to use this person at this time. You know, how is the High Wind going to react with everything that's going around? You know, there's a lot of questions that we have that's literally going to be disc 2 or the second half remake part 2. And where does the timeline go with?
Excited.
I know,
Excited.
like I'm
psyched.
just like getting goosebumps, because like there's so many ways it can go.
Yeah.
I just have to wait it out and just say, you know what, I didn't like that very end, that last 10 minutes of remake 1.
Yeah, I can't wait to play it.
It might tie into remake 2.
Jason, so the end part where you're fighting Sephiroth, right? Like, you had to put that in, right? Because you had to have a climax.
You had to have a big bad.
You had to have a big climax, and it had to be Sephiroth. Like, you have to establish, like, this guy's like Darth Vader. He is. He's Darth Vader for video games, right? Like, that's what he is. Like, he's like the most iconic villain of video games. So it's like you had to put the fight in with him, because you've been teasing him the whole time. So like again, like, knowing that it's a multi-part thing, I'm like, I totally expected this was going to happen.
Right? Oh no, that part I can like, okay, like, you had the big bad, but then the stuff after, with all the shadows of fate, I'm like, you could just not put that in.
Like, this is why I don't think that you have to worry. This is exactly why I don't think you have to worry.
I have to worry because Zach's alive.
No, but see, this is the thing, though. This is the thing. This is the thing. This is why I don't think you have to worry, because the shadows of fate, right, were in the trailers and everything today, and people were wondering, what the hell are these things, right? You find out what they are, and ultimately, did they ultimately change the experience of the story from the original game?
They did.
No, and the same thing with Zach being alive. I think that's meant to put in there for 2 things. Is like, I think there's going to be dueling timelines. Like, I really do think it's going to be a 2 timeline thing that like is going to like weave in and out with each other. But if it's not, it's still like a thing to add an element of suspense and mystery for OG fans like us who know the story, and then also a chance just to play as Zach. And how cool would that be? Like, if at the end it's like Cloud and Zach teaming up to fight Sephiroth, and then your party's Cloud and Zach. That'd be so badass. You know?
I think it definitely is going to have this like little crisis core moment in remake 2, and you're just going to be like, you know what, like, you're going to see it, you're going to feel it, you're going to get that emotion, and then you're just going to be like, yo, like, I get it now. And then
he's going to die, and then you won't have him, and you're going to be like, no.
Yeah, but I think but I think that goes back to the whole original, like, one of the reasons kind of like Cloud took on that Zach persona is because Zach died.
Yeah, but
and he kind of just imprinted. Now you don't have that. So what is Cloud's purpose?
See,
that's what I'm more worried about.
Cloud's whole purpose always, the whole thing, Cloud's whole motivation from the time he was a kid was that he like wanted to impress Tifa because he had a crush on Tifa. Like, that was like his whole thing. Like, he wanted to be the person that he thought Tifa would like like want, right? And to him, that was like a badass soldier, right? And when he so like the whole Zach thing, one, I think he still died in the Cloud timeline that you're playing as. I think that that shit all happened to him. Like that memory of Zach dying, whether Zach's alive in your timeline or a separate timeline, I think the Cloud you're playing as has the memory of Zach dying, right? So like that doesn't change that. But then even if Zach was alive, it doesn't really change Cloud's motivation to be like a soldier. You know what I mean? Like it was just
to
like,
protect the ones that he loves, his new family.
Yeah, it's
his
like
new group.
It's like Final Fantasy is like, it really is really parallel to Star Wars. Like Zach is Cloud's Obi-Wan, Cloud's Luke, you know, Sephiroth is Darth Vader. Like there's so many like parallels.
That's why. That's honestly why. Yeah. Like I agree. Like it surpassed decades. This game, and that's why this game is like their holy grail, as you said, is because this story has so many different layers. But they're just maybe adding a layer or altering a layer in this new timeline or this new game.
Yeah.
So I'm more driven with curiosity than purism.
Yeah,
I guess.
Yeah.
You know,
listen,
so
ultimately, what I always tell people when we talk about comic stuff is like, if it ends up being something you don't like, right? Not even saying it's bad. Like, it's just if the end product comes out all 3 chapters and it's like something you don't like, it's cool. It's just a different version. You got the original.
Yeah.
You know, the original
go play the original and cleanse your palate.
Yeah, no, I get it, and that's why I'm not dissing it, and like it just didn't work with me, but I know it works with other people, but like it's just like Squid Game for me. If you take out that last 10 minutes, you could have had a much better, like, oh my goodness moment. Fade to black, like it would have been. Like if that last 10 minutes of Squid Game didn't happen, Jason, I would be so pumped for this one coming up.
Here's what I think would have been.
That's so funny.
Here's for me, like I agree with Jason. I think everything but the last 10 minutes was phenomenal. It was a fantastic game. I think if you take out that last little bit where you see Zach alive,
if you fight, not that. I'm just saying if you take out that last fight with the Shadows of Fate and you end with the big boss, hitting Sephiroth, and then you're like, okay, like you got your butt whooped, and then you're just like, okay, fade to black or like weave it however way.
So are we thinking like end it like Empire Strikes Back and just on that Doom and Gloom type?
You got to take an L. You take an L and you're like, wait, what? This is how it's going to end. And you're like, boom, ready for like.
And I would have been more.
I'm more of a classic like Star Wars ending too. I kind of like the L better.
Rocky didn't win every freaking fight.
Right, dude.
Rocky didn't win every freaking fight.
It was about the comeback, man.
He still isn't winning. Anyways, but I think for me, it would have been if you didn't have that cut scene at the end of the first one with Zach. To me personally, I would have been at that point. I would have said this is a phenomenal game, and I can't wait to see where they take it. And then they start off too with that whole, well, Zach's alive. Then you're going to go, what the hell? But now you've kind of given that whole, well, we're already in a new timeline now.
Yeah, but I mean, that's what they want, though.
I think
exactly what they want, though.
Yeah, because this is like, I totally respect your opinions on that, and I totally get what you're thinking. But if that did happen, would we be spending 3 years as a community talking about it? Like,
I mean, like,
what's gonna happen?
Like, hell no.
We're still talking about it. Like, how many?
Still debating it. I mean,
and I kind of agree too, VK. Like, imagine both those two at the very end, like that's the whole reason why he came back. Like, hey, listen, I'm your backup. Like, let's do it.
All right, if they're gonna do
like that would be epic, dude.
All right, I'm gonna go classic Square Enix with a reference right now. If they are truly going to have Cloud and Zach as a team that you can fight, I want them to tip their hat to Chrono Trigger, and I want an X Strike tag duo mode.
Nice.
Chrono and Toad just doing the X Strike through, and
nice.
That'd be a cool nod. That'd be a cool little nod to it.
Yeah. If they're gonna do that, that's what I want.
What about this? The last fight with Zach around, like the end game fight, right? You're Cloud and Zach as a team. You fight, you win up to where you get to. A cutscene happens, Zach gets killed. As Cloud, you're dual wielding fucking Buster Swords. Oof. That would be dope. That would be dope. And the last fight, dual wielding Buster Swords.
Case in point, what if one of those Buster Swords like broke a little bit and
Breaks.
turned in to his new Buster Sword from Advent Children.
Oh, nice.
That'd be cool.
The fusion, but yes, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I would say like the one thing out of Advent Children that was fucking cool was that sword.
Oh, dude, the hell fight like, at the end was dope.
Oh yeah, the fight, but I really like. I thought that was a clever, like, new Buster Sword for the movie.
Oh yeah,
and just the way he incorporated taking it apart, still dual wielding. Like, I thought that was cool, but
I mean
that
cool. The way they did Omni Slash with that was
so sick.
Yeah, it was cool.
But I think that goes back to what we've been kind of all debating, is that Advent Children, that timeline is so cherished, right? Look at, we're just all of a sudden talking about the Buster Sword, you know, that storyline, how they brought everybody back together. And it was about that team.
Because it technically was supposed to be a full-fledged sequel to the game, right? It was just a few years, like,
they just decided to do a movie for it because they felt it was just a better resonance. So I'm excited. Trust me, I'm excited for where they take the second one. I really am. But because of how they've kind of already tweaked it just a little and stuff, for me, that's where I'm like, I'm still gonna have a little bit of caution, you know, so that way I don't want to go in and just be like completely dead on arrival because they changed too much, you know. I want to go in with that realistic expectations that we're gonna love the voice. We're gonna love the voice acting. We already know that. We know all the actors.
They nailed. Like, side note, they just crushed with the voice acting picks who they got to be all the characters. I mean, John obviously, like, it was great meeting him last time I was on. He crushes him. You know, like
dude, it comes so natural to him, dude. Oh yeah.
All of them. I mean, I think they were fantastic choices, and I mean, I don't knock that at all. So I think it's just the direction, and I think yes, Yoshi P comes with a high level of trust from everything he did with
Yoshi P. Like, he listens to the
trust me, I get that, but sometimes it's like you put too much trust in something and you get, you know, The Rise of Skywalker, or Last Jedi, or, you know, or no, I mean, Attack of the Clone, you know, any one of those movies that everyone picks apart, right? That says it was a terrible
I like the prequels, man.
I love the prequels.
There's a
I love the
big
prequels.
difference, though, I think, between how
I mean, like, Attack of the Clones was a straight up action movie. That was its only real downside.
What I'm saying is
Jedi
like
and Rise had like everything wrong with it.
No, that's what I'm saying is like you have so much trust in the people that are trying to bring it back, right? That sometimes they make a couple of mistakes.
I didn't have trust in Kathleen Kennedy. I did not have trust in her.
That's why I'm scared of the next Indiana Jones.
Yep. Be afraid, guys. Be afraid for that movie.
As much as it is Harrison Ford,
she had her hands. She had her hands in that movie.
Yeah. So
bad. Yeah.
And then
Jon Favreau. Yeah.
Dave Filoni.
There you
go.
Yes.
Give him that. So the one thing I do want to end on this for tonight, and we're still staying in the Final Fantasy Square Enix realm.
Dang, it's already been
all reasons that
man, like
every
time we have V Ken, you know, it just seems like it goes by so quick. Like,
I know.
Dang,
right?
I didn't know we were that close.
Yes. Yeah, we're already at an hour. It's already top of the hour. Anyways, is also in that same interview, Yoshi P said that, you know, and Katase both said we're not going to see the return of turn-based Final Fantasy because they're trying to essentially cater to the younger audience, and that's why they're going the action RPG route.
mm-hmm.
How do we feel about that when we see games like Xenoblade are doing well with that kind of turn-based mentality? You have Dragon Quest doing really well with turn-based, and it's more focusing on a younger generation now versus still not having something that is there for that generation that made you and helped save the company.
For that same exact generation, they became the niche market. And unfortunately, I feel like they're just catering to the times. That's where we are now. Unfortunately, us who covet the old school turn-based because we have the patience to play those type of games because we remember. We're
that's the best way to put that.
Yeah, man. Yeah, like dude, you were like, okay, like I missed that. But dude, those days are gone.
Just fuck Ruby Weapon.
Yeah.
VK, what do you think about the
man?
that?
Yeah, so I do have a fondness for the old school RPG. Like I play the original 7, 8, 9. Like I have all 3 of them on my Switch and 10. I love that. I have
dude, that was my run too. That was my run too.
Yeah, I'm very nostalgic for it, and I do still love playing those old games. But when I was a kid, I remember playing 7, being like, man, this would be so much cooler if it was fighting like Zelda. And like,
dude, I do remember thinking about that too.
I kind of am like totally okay. Like I thought 7 remake, again, not to keep praising it, but like I thought it did a perfect balance where like if you wanted to play it more tactically, you could, and you still kind of had to for certain battles. But if you wanted to just kind of go around hacking and slashing, you could do that too. And like I think that was like a good midway point. But I'm very excited for 16. Like just seeing like a Devil May Cry style Final Fantasy, like I'm very, very excited for that.
That trailer did do it it did look pretty cool.
So yeah, and this is what I think about it. Like this, I do miss the action, the turn-based. You know, it's so classic, it's iconic.
Yeah,
you know, everybody kind of grew up on it. Then you go to Final Fantasy 12, where they actually started the whole like transition, as you could say, because it was very choppy. It wasn't smooth. It was weird, but it was the first time that you can kind of feel it out. You're like, okay, like I feel like it's a little bit more. And then Monster Hunter came out, and that was the thing. That was it. Like everyone was like, oh my god, you can do this at, like, you can fight in real time. You know, you have to block in real time. You have to do everything, and it switched up a lot of RPG players' mentalities where like it's no longer like I shield, you attack, I attack, you take the hit. You know, like you don't have to be strategic. You have to be more like conscious of what you're actually doing.
It was a whole generational shift,
and that shift alone right there was one where it's like it brought out like the Bloodborne, the Demon Souls, the Sekiro, like all that, where it's like, okay, you have to be more concise.
Careful, Jason. We're getting triggered. We're getting triggered.
Sekiro. Part of me thinks that like.
God. Did I die? Am I dead?
You're fired.
But I mean, like, to go back though, like there is games that are still going to be where that turn-based is still going to be like popular. It needs to like happen. If Wild Arms comes out again, Wild Arms needs to be turn-based again. But I would never see it.
Part
but
of
I'm
me
not
thinks,
a fan of Dragon Quest.
Well, part of me thinks that like the graphics have a lot to do with it. Like I think when you're going for that like hyper realistic graphics, which the modern Final Fantasy games are, they look like very real, like anime kind of, like they're going for like a very real life looking kind of thing. It'd be so weird to go to the turn-based, because like I feel like the turn-based works so well in the PS1 era and like with more like animated type stuff, because you're already making like an imagination leap to begin with, right? You know what I mean? Like you're like imagining more what it is than what you're actually seeing. And when the turn-based happens, you're kind of playing it in your head like what this is looking like as real time. But when it's like hyper realistic graphics to begin with, I feel like that switch to turn-based like is almost kind of awkward.
Yeah, it slows it down.
Well, let me ask this question though. I would love to see this, but I mean, wouldn't you love to see the characters from 10 in more realistic? I mean, could you imagine what Kamari would look like? And you know, Lou,
my first choice would be 8.
Hell yeah, dude! 8 all the way, baby.
Even then, I mean, think about that though. You can still do your turn-based. You can still have that. So I think with this is going this route,
the way they went with the remake. I would want to see all the other games straight up action RPG.
But here's the thing though.
I'm drinking the Kool-Aid now.
Do you risk though losing some of what made your company? Literally, what made you the ability to make Final Fantasy
think
7
so.
remake.
No, they're shifting and
Well, no,
once
hold
again
on.
going with the
Hold on,
times.
you'll see what
man.
I'm.
Yeah,
No,
let him,
what I'm
let him
saying
finish.
is,
Let him
okay,
finish
let me
real quick.
finish
I
it.
just want to know. I want to hear this.
Do you forsake them to the world of Dragon Quest, which isn't for everybody, and that's turn based, or do you still have your action oriented RPGs like you guys are wanting with like 60 and stuff like that, but still have a turn based FF game within Final Fantasy and not alienate the rest of the people?
I mean,
No, that would add too much to the game.
I don't think it's
Why?
an interesting question you're saying. I don't think it would alienate. I think it's more like you're kind of just going with the times, right? Like if I relate this to comics, right? Like you can see how comics have changed, like how Superman, right, has changed over time, and like I feel like I think there's still room in the future, like maybe like FF like 20 or something. They go back to like turn, because like just because they're not doing it now doesn't mean they're never do it ever. You know what I mean? Like
So that's what they're saying.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they're saying it now. They're saying it now. But I'm saying, 10, 20, 30 years from now, like, who knows what's going to happen, Like,
I mean, they are stealing the 80s now. So.
Right. I was just about to say that. They said 80s fashion was never going to come back.
Well, guess what? We're back.
Back to
and we brought He-Man with us.
90s fashion's the best, bro.
Again,
the best.
Again, that turn-based, it's like, if you think about it, in a lot of the like action RPGs, we do still have that turn-based. It's just not as cut and dry.
Yeah.
It's not cut and dry. I mean, like if you play 14, like I've played 14 a lot, like there is a script to all the big bosses. So it is a turn-based, but it's just how you react or how you deal with it. It kind of is like this massive overpowered hit, yes, but it is a turn-based that they take that turn to do like this massive move, and then it's your turn to recover from it or die, depending on what happens. It's not as like, it's gone into a gray rather than black and white for that turn base, and I think that's where that action RPG turn like system is going with them. When you do go into your menu, time slows down immensely. You're not stuck like, oh, I need to figure out what I need to do. You can pause for a second to like, oh, I need to cast.
I never ran it like that. I always ran it full go.
But I mean, like you have that option where you can, slow down the time where it's like 100th.
Now I need to go play FF8. God damn you, Jerry.
8 is so good.
You said that,
oh man,
I'm like,
8 is so good.
Like, I just don't like the draw system. The draw system. Okay. What is that?
Agreed.
Yeah, but the characters are in the story.
Dude,
everything is good.
The characters.
Good. The
dude,
draw
okay,
system.
hold on.
Why?
Before we say goodbye, here's another example.
But agreed, Jason. The draw system was janky.
I agree with that.
Wouldn't we love to see a realistic Vivi?
I would.
That'd be fun. That'd be fun. That'd be hilarious.
That'd be so dope.
That'd be awesome.
Come on.
Wait,
So
okay,
that's what I'm saying. There's plenty.
Top three Final Fantasies with you guys. Go. I'm curious. Top 3.
Oh man. So
I'll start. I can use
okay,
it.
yeah, go ahead.
I'll do mine. 7 tactics, and then 6.
7, 8, 10.
Oh, I'm gonna get so much hate for this, and this has been such a spirited conversation. So listeners, please make sure to leave those comments, about this episode. I'm gonna get hate for this, but
like leave your comments. Let us know what your top 3 is too.
Yeah, but I'm gonna get hate for this.
Curious.
Number 1 is 13.
Jesus.
Never played.
Number
13-1. 13-1.
13-1.
Okay.
13-1.
13-1.
I think they should have left it alone, just like they should have left 10 alone. My second is 7. And then my third is 8. And I've never finished 8, but 8 is just like you were talking about, the gun blades and Squall, and just
it's good.
So good.
Stories right on point. A little cliche, but
then,
on point.
Yeah.
And
then
just
but the draw system. The
draw
system.
3A.
Yeah. That was
and
rough.
then 3A is 9 for me.
9's good.
Yeah. See, that's why I had trouble, because
I
I
didn't
also
cut it
like
for me.
9 too.
Nine-
I
See,
liked
honestly,
it's fun, but it just
it was a
didn't cut
cool,
it.
like fun group of characters.
Yeah,
bro.
it just
and it was a like straight up fantasy land. Like I loved them.
Honestly,
my
8,
favorite
9,
dude was Red Dreads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think honestly for me, 8, 9, and 10 are all interchangeable at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were all
Yeah.
fantastic in their own ways.
But
And they
for me,
all
my
had their-
definite first two is 7 and 8.
Oh, for me, my
Okay.
definite first two are 13, 1, and then 7.
13.
Like I said, I'm gonna get hate for it, but
Okay.
I love the story.
It's
I love
okay.
everything.
I
Okay,
get
VK,
yeah.
end it with your top 3.
Okay. 7, 8, 15. Boom.
Oh,
15's amazing.
yeah.
Unironically, 15's amazing.
Fucking
It's so
NSYNC,
good.
the NSYNC
So
road
good.
trip.
Band Simulator, man.
Punk band. They're a punk rock band, dude. It's your entourage. It's your crew.
Punk
your
rock
homies.
BTS, is that right? Yeah.
It's your homies you're going on your road trip with, saving the world. It's awesome. So
Dude.
good. The characters
And
are
making
awesome.
sure our hair is frolicking in the wind.
Dude, their hair is amazing. Noctis has amazing hair, dude. Amazing.
Hold on. This is where
man.
I'm really getting some heat.
Amazing hair.
FF15 Pocket Edition was better than FF15.
Oh,
Hard
God.
disagree. Hard disagree.
Oh, that's good. I love that.
Oh,
Hey,
man.
Hey,
Anyways,
Dude,
so-
BK,
Well, dude, I have a
upstairs,
Noctis.
bro.
I have a
15.
Noctis action figure.
Oh.
I got a bunch of the play arts figures. Yeah.
That's
I
so
love
awesome.
you, BK. I love you, BK. Man.
That's so awesome, dude.
Love it.
So,
But I
honestly,
do
this
like
is what happens.
honorable
15.
mentions to 9 and 10 though, because I do really like 9 and 10 a lot too.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, if we're talking about that, let's just do what it is, and I'll just put Chrono Trigger right up there because we know that's pretty much Final Fantasy, anyways. Anyways, these conversations, whenever like Jason points out, is like, where does the time go whenever you're
Yeah,
on here?
I know, dude,
Every time we're on
seriously.
VK, it's just like,
yes, for so long. So
we're ending already. We're
Man,
stopping?
man,
Yeah.
50, I'm still kind of like taking
Okay.
about 15.
so I mean,
Love it. Love
he
it.
is rocking the Noctis hair. So
Yeah,
Yeah,
anyway,
dude.
so
Yeah, dude.
as you know,
I'm down for a flying transforming car, dude. That's convertible. I'm down.
Hell yes.
You know what? Hold on, real quick. You even mentioned that I don't remember what we were talking about, and she's like, "Dude, I was promised flying cars in the future, and we still don't have them."
Yeah. But we got him in Final
Anyways.
Fantasy.
So, to all of those that have joined us tonight, and they're going to be listening on the this weekend when we broadcast everything, thank you for crashing game night with us tonight. As always, we love having VK on because we get into bullshit
We
conversations
get in
like
ridiculousness,
that, and
but it's okay. VK's on
And
my
we
side
do,
on the
but it's-
Marvel. You know, like
that's
So
the whole
ridiculous.
that's the whole
Yeah.
point. You know,
So
I can
ridiculous.
only defend Jason so much, and these days he needs an outside voice. But hey, if you like what you heard, please make sure to hit the follow button on the platform of the choice that you're watching us on. Head over to crashinggamenight.com, where you can go to our guest profiles page and click on V Ken and go see all the episodes he's on and watch his back stuff. And you can subscribe there too as well. So, guys, in this crazy world that is going on, you know, how I end the show couldn't mean more, especially with everything that's going on. So please just be excellent to each other and stay frosty.
I'm not even against you on the Marvel show. I even said I agree. I'm just a consumer.
hey, I'm just
I
saying,
wanna
man,
compare-
like, they are
Nick
getting
Cage,
a little
do
lazy.
your thing.
They are getting
Come
a
on.
little lazy. We
Anyways.
had backpack, or what is it, briefcase man show up in Doctor Strange how many times?
Oh,
Oh my
shut up.
God.
The running
Anyways.
briefcase man.
Dude, okay, you know what? Barry, please just be kind and rewind.
Oh, so you sign out. Anyways, guys, yeah. The support is real. Not only support all your Marvel shows and Marvel movies, but more importantly,
Including Mobius. Or Morbius, rather.
he who will not be named. We do not mention. we do not mention thine movie. Anyways, the
Isn't he
support
part
is
of the
real,
phase,
guys.
though? Isn't he part of the Phase 4 or like
No,
Phase
no, he's
5?
not.
Or-
No,
No, he's
he's,
not.
he's part of the Sony verse.
Shut your mouth,
I
Jason.
don't know. I don't know.
Shut your face. Shut your face.
Okay. Anyways,
Anyways, the support is real, guys. So support your Black Lives Matter, your Stop That Asian Hate. Please support your women and their voice. Their voice is being challenged as of right now. Also support your LGBTQ plus community. The climate out right now, guys, is still very a little dim. You know, it's still a little chaotic. Let's just kind of calm down, and show a little bit more compassion, patience, and help each other out from time to time. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you nerds later.
Yeah, as always, guys. I'm almost ready to say give up on saying, it's the light at the end of the tunnel. One thing after the other, but please just stay safe out there. Shout outs to all of the frontline workers, all the retail workers, all the teachers. Like, hopefully you have a good summer vacation, teachers. Everybody out there, it's just be safe, because we're still not out of this COVID-19, and it's been
It's
how
rearing its
many
ugly head.
years? Like, I'm looking at the date, and it's like almost a 3-year anniversary for it. Let's just get it together, stay safe. Hopefully monkeypox does not become the new thing, but if you see it, just be careful out there. Like, get quarantined. We've all been through it already, kind of. So but my man VK, shout outs to you. Go ahead and let all the listeners know how they can find you. I know we have it on our webpage, but a little plug it in.
Oh, thanks again for having me, guys. You can follow me on Instagram at V Ken Marion, and Twitter is at VK Marion. So you can check out my work and see what I'm up to. And sometimes I post pics of like the cool, like nerdy stuff I have in my office, my cats. Thanks for having me on, guys. It's always a blast hanging out with you. The time goes by way too fast, like always.
Always does.
Yeah, very much so.
Dude, thank you so much for joining, and once again, anytime, you're welcome, baby.
And to quote our boy Theo,
hold on, my man. I'm gonna let my man VK.
You're gonna steal Theo's line. Sweet.
Or guess, because he watches, he knows.
Yeah.
And he's on my side tonight with the
God.
Marvel. So, like, my man, VK, send us home, baby.
TTFN. Ta-ta for now. Boom.
Good night, everybody.
Marvel.